was her sanctuary. The track surrounding the football field was the space that amplified game day, where the white noise dissipated and passion fueled purpose. Cheerleading was Desiree's love.
I'm Danny Rivas. I'm the father of Desiree Rivas.
At Cesar Chavez High School, 17-year-old Desiree Rivas was that spark and a budding star.
She wanted to be a cheerleader for as long as I can remember. Every dance movie, I think I've seen them 3-4 times. She started at an early age at Park Warner, and she competed, and when she got older, that's what she stuck with.
My name is Vanessa Gonzalez, and I'm the mother of Desiree Rivas.
Her parents are biased, but you can't blame them.
She had the crowd's eyes on her. Even though there was 20 other girls, I'm sorry, there was 20 other girls on the team, but her smile, her spirit on the field, eyes were on her. She attracted that attention.
My name is Charlene Cunningham. I'm a teacher at Cesar Chavez High School, and I was the cheer coach here from 2014 to 2024.
5, 6, 7.
Coach Cunningham knew Desiree had it.
You might have thought that she was trying out for a crowd, in front of a crowd of 1 million people instead of just 3 judges.
By May of 2023, Desiree was in her junior year and considered a potential captain of the cheer team for her senior year.
I don't think I've had many cheerleaders with as much love for cheer as Desi. There have been a few here and there, but she was somebody who really kind of like lived and breathed it.
It's like walking into a time machine.
My room.
Vanessa remembers when she was a teen mom with a baby girl. What was that moment like when you first got to hold her?
I don't even know how to explain it. It's just unbelievable. She was mine. She was someone that I made. She was a part of me.
When she finally came, I was like, oh my God, like that's my girl.
Prom pictures that she took that year.
My name is Melissa Rivas, and I'm the aunt of Desiree Rivas.
Loved ones say Desiree held the title of first in the family, the first daughter, first granddaughter, and first niece.
I have countless memories of that, of just how she was just wise beyond her years, and we always had to continually explain, like, you're a kid, you gotta go have fun.
Her bedroom, now a shrine with reminders of what Desiree loved, who she was, and the hopes of who she might become. Her senior year, cheerleading, working, and preparing for college on the horizon.
I didn't really have to worry about her. So when she was getting older and wanted to go to college, I was just like, all right, this is the next step. But then after that day, you lose all that. And I think what hurts the most.
My name is Desiree.
And that day left her forever 17. It was Mother's Day weekend. Vanessa remembers the last time she spoke to her daughter.
She was gonna go to her dad's house. And the last thing I remember saying was, okay, well, call me later and I love you.
It was a Saturday, and both Desiree's parents knew she never went to big parties. But on this night, she asked her dad to make an exception.
She's Desiree, so I mean, I didn't worry because it's her, but then I was worried about the environment. Like, it's a house party, there's kids, I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's why I was hesitant to let her go, but she's like, Dad, trust me, it's me. I'm like, you're right. So I let her go, and I just give her a curfew at 12. I was like, leave at 12, please. If anytime sooner, just leave at 12. And then she went to the party.
Midnight came, and Mother's Day began with devastation.
I was home a little after midnight, get a call from one of her friends, and just the voice of her telling me that Desi's been shot.
I remember dozing off and then getting her mom calls nonstop. I'm like, oh no, because I wasn't sure if she told her mom that she was going to a party. So I'm like, Desiree, time to come home. but she didn't respond. And that's when I answered her mom's call, like, what's going on? And then she had told me that Desiree had been shot, and I was like, what?
Danny and Vanessa rushed to the scene near 91st Avenue and Lower Buckeye in Tolleson, where a large perimeter in the neighborhood was taped off by Phoenix police. What was it like getting to the scene?
They didn't say anything. We just had her location. She wasn't answering the phone, and we knew that she had got shot.
I'm asking cops of what's going on, and it's just chaos. I couldn't get an answer, or I was told to step back and wait for someone. Just a lot going on, and not knowing what was going on was just kind of unbelievable.
The long wait in the darkness grew painful, with the echoes of flashing red and blue lights.
So I stayed there on the scene till about 6 in the morning, just laying on the grass, because I was like, if my daughter's laying on the floor, I'm laying on the floor. So I stayed there because I wanted to get confirmation, I think was my main thing I wanted from that, being there. I was getting angry at the time because the coroner still hadn't picked her up. And I'm like, why is she still there? Why is she still there? I kept talking to the cop. By 6 a.m., the detective came over to me, and he was like, sorry to inform you, yes, it is Desiree. We pulled her identification, and she's passed away. And then that's when I found out she was really gone.
The shooting happened 10 minutes after midnight, according to police. On May 14th, 2023, word of Desiree's death spread through her community. A house party transformed into a deadly shooting investigation.
My phone was inundated with calls and texts. Is it true? Is it true? Did that really happen? What's happening? Parents of other cheerleaders asking, what's going on? What's happening? What do I tell my kids? I don't think anybody really knew how to react or what to think or could even form a thought.
Raw, inexplicable misery on Mother's Day as Vanessa faced her new reality.
I don't think anybody remembered it was Mother's Day. It was just a day where a tragedy happened. I remember I didn't even want to call my mom to inform her because it was Mother's Day.
My name is Brian Bauer with the Phoenix Police. I am also the coordinator for Maricopa County Silent Witness.
I sat down with Sergeant Bauer to break down what we know about that night, and we realized how close Desiree was to getting home safe.
She was on her way to leave. She and her friends noticed that there was commotion at the party. They felt like something was going to happen, so they were on their way out.
But who killed Desiree remains a mystery. No suspects have been identified. No images or videos from the shooting have been released by Phoenix PD.
There was a lot of witnesses in this particular case that were at this graduation party when the shooting took place. So there's a lot of folks that we haven't been able to identify. And we truly believe that somebody in that party, somebody at that graduation ceremony party has information.
We went back to where Desiree lost her life, where a makeshift memorial set up by her father still stands. A neighbor who saw the chaos that night remembers 2 cars arriving in front of the party moments before the shooting.
And then a second car pulled up, and right as the second car pulled up, they started opening fire, and it was one person that was in that car that I believe started opening fire, and then everybody ran, and then there was just like almost 150 kids just out here running around.
Just chaos.
Yeah, it was bad.
He lives right across the street from where the party was held and tells me he provided ring surveillance footage to police. We asked for it, but he lost the footage. But he also remembers seeing Desiree.
I just remember her friend screaming. It's just terrible screaming.
She was definitely at the wrong place at the wrong time. Not only that, she was leaving the place, I guess, a few minutes before she would have left, she would have been with us.
They took our beautiful Desiree. So we're here. We're determined to find justice.
In the weeks following her murder, Desiree's family wanted answers, justice, hoping media coverage could lead to an arrest and help them heal sooner than later.
That's a very challenging thing to ask a family member to stand up in front of multiple cameras, talk to an audience that they've never experienced, that they don't know who they are.
And so we did it because we thought there would be some sort of resolution sooner rather than later, and just really not knowing. We've never been through it before, so yes, it was very surreal, and yeah, it felt like a nightmare.
A bunch of family, friends, and some people that only knew her by passing. Now she came out. About 100 to 200 people were out here this evening to honor the life of 17-year-old Desiree Rivas.
I was breaking down too. I was right there with them, and I mean, that they'd be like, "Coach, don't cry, because if you cry, then I'm gonna cry." Or if they were crying, I'd be like, "Look the other way, because then I'm gonna start crying," and then we're all crying. Just really gut-wrenching.
The day I finally let go was when we had just buried her, and then I was handing out t-shirts to her siblings, my son and her sister, my youngest daughter. And then when I was handing out those shirts, I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, and I just broke down.
In 2023, Phoenix police saw a spike in murders during the month of May when Desiree was killed. That month, she was one of 24 homicide victims, and by the end of the year, nearly 200 people were murdered in Phoenix. For Vanessa, updates on her daughter's case dwindled, and now more than 2 years later, it's hard to stay optimistic.
I was probably emailing the detective every 2 weeks, maybe every month, just to get some information of the case. But recently, I don't think I've got a response for 6 months.
Surveillance footage, cell phone videos, and more than 100 partygoers on the night Desiree was gunned down, yet a suspect has not been identified, and it appears witnesses are staying silent. Desiree's class of 2024 graduated, but not without honoring her memory.
Going to the ceremony and not seeing her walk that stage was pretty hard.
I mean, what's going through your mind representing her there and knowing that she's not there?
Not fair. Definitely. She was taken from us and it wasn't fair. She should have been there.
Her cheer team kept her spirit alive, and that season would be Coach Cunningham's last.
I had a Build-A-Bear made, a very cute little bunny in her honor, and one of the cheer moms had a Chavez uniform sewed for the little stuffed animal, and we really carried that with us everywhere. We took that with us to camp. We took pictures of it senior picture day. It's on display in our trophy cabinet to this day. Leaving her behind was not an option.
This is her room. Well, always gonna be her room.
There's a quote from Maya Angelou. "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." For Desiree's parents, the never-ending challenge is moving on each and every day.
I guess they call it survivor's guilt. That's the hardest part, because I still can't get over it. Every time I'm happy, it just breaks me a little bit. It's like, I don't want to be happy, but I should be happy. But I know I should be happy.
Do you feel like it's hard to pretend when you're dealing with what you're dealing with no answers?
I think I've become a pro at answering the question of, are you okay? And I answer with, I'm okay. But what people don't see is there's days where I isolate myself. I lock myself in the room sometimes. I think it's just easier to say that I'm okay.
Did you get shot, bro?
As life hangs in the balance,
911, where is your emergency?
28 Drive in Peoria.
Joseph McNally fights for it.
Okay, what is going on? Why makes
Somebody shot dead, shot in the middle seat, possibly about to die, man.
During his last moments, complete strangers stay by his side.
Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
On July 30th, 2021, just after 3:30 in the morning, Joseph's killer is already long gone, vanishing through the darkness of Phoenix streets.
The cars are coming down the street. The police ain't got here yet. And this dude shot.
My name's Julie Fair. I'm the mother of Joseph McNally.
On July 12, 1993, Joseph Anthony McNally was born, and from day one, he had an unbreakable bond with his mother, Julie.
It was just him and I against the whole world, you know, and back then, you know, our family didn't necessarily believe that I was going to amount to anything, and I just my whole focus was my son and working as hard as I can to make something of myself for myself and for my son.
Their family then expanded as Joseph became the oldest of 4 kids growing up in the West Valley. He was loved before his life was taken at 28 years old. There's a sense of diligence. Julie nurtures the ground where her firstborn was laid to rest. Family members follow suit in the process as emotions pour out. How do you measure a mother's love?
I'm so sorry.
Its power stretches beyond the grave, between life and death, knowing no bounds. Leading up to the 4th anniversary of Joseph's death, Julie's anxiety has been pent up for weeks, realizing that this much time has passed. She's been waiting to visit her son's grave and honor him.
It's the little thing I can do for him.
I can tell you that his close friends are all doing really good, and they're all getting married and buying houses and successful, and it's heartwarming to see, but at the same time, it's heartbreaking because he'll never have that. We'll never have that.
Yeah, please hurry because there's quite a bit of traffic and another car just almost ran him over.
On the night he was killed, Joseph's body ended up in the area of 28th Drive between Peoria Avenue and Cactus Road. Nearly 400 miles away in California, Julie and her family had no idea.
We were actually on vacation in Huntington Beach when everything had happened. So I had talked to him in the afternoon. I think it was probably around maybe 12 or 1 o'clock or something like that.
Joseph was shot multiple times.
Part of me knew, you know, they say that when you carry a child, you still always have parts of them in you or with you. And it was almost like a sixth sense that I knew something had happened.
The 911 call reveals more of what led up to his death.
We was coming out my apartment and we seen the guy hanging from a car. And the car, we heard 2 shots and seen the guy hanging from the car and the car going by, flying by. We don't know who the f*** it was. A semi almost hit this dude. A semi almost hit him. He fell off the car and the semi almost hit him. Like he's really f***ed up. He's in the middle of the f***ing road. The semi driver should have called you.
I know you haven't been able to listen to this, and that's for obviously good reason. It's hard.
Yeah. I haven't been able to listen to it yet. I would really like to meet the couple that called in and was by his side.
Since that night, Julie has frequented the area where her son was killed.
I'm Detective Mark Nunley, the Phoenix Police Department Homicide Unit, assigned to the Cold Case Squad.
Detective Mark Nunley is the cold case detective investigating Joseph's murder, and he's speaking publicly about the case for the first time.
Joseph had approached this vehicle and was speaking with one of the occupants, so he was right next to the vehicle. We believe that he was at some point touching or holding on to the vehicle. At some point, one of the occupants inside that vehicle shot him.
A senseless interaction led to murder.
You're not supposed to die before your kids, and I just remember, like, when we took him off of life support, I put my head down on his chest and I'm just listening to his heartbeat, and I'm thinking, like, holding him, you know, like, this is still my baby, I'm holding him, and he's in my arms dying. Where the last time I was holding him in the hospital was when he was born.
Following Joseph's death, Julie embarked on a mission to get justice, but she says at first, the lines blurred with anger and vengeance.
For the first good 9 months, I was on a mission to find out who did this to my son. I was determined if I find him that I was going to do to them exactly what they did to my son, which is not logical, obviously, but it's how I felt.
I obtained video evidence showing the vehicle involved in Joseph's murder. It's a dark blue or black compact SUV ranging from the years 2000 to 2010. Police say multiple people were inside the car when one of them shot Joseph.
We have reason to believe, based on some of these witness interviews, that there was more than one person inside this vehicle. It's likely that whether this person witnessed it firsthand or they were just in the vehicle, they know something about what happened to Mr. McNally.
They took his phone and then he put his arm on the car and then they just decided to take off. They just dragged him all the way down 28th. They went past the light, going about 60, 70 miles an hour from what I understand. About a half a mile down between Peoria and Cactus. They shot him in the arm. He still was holding on. Then they shot him in the head and then he flew to oncoming traffic.
There's a lot of homeless activity in that area. It appears that, Joseph was down on his luck. He was not in a good place. And sometimes people that are in a bad place are the most vulnerable. And he appeared to be, in that situation where some of the people that he was spending time with were involved in some other criminal activity.
But Joseph did want to get treatment for substance abuse issues, and his mother planned to help.
He's like, I can't keep doing this, Mom. He's like, I need help when you get home. Can you get me help? And I didn't get the chance to get him help, and that's the first time he's ever asked me for help. I didn't get to. If I would have been here, I could have helped him, and it's never would have happened.
Now Julie returns to the area off I-17 in Peoria each year on the day Joseph was killed.
My name's Julie, and my son was murdered out here 4 years ago today, and I'm trying to honor 28 people in his memory. His name was Joseph.
28 red bags passed out to 28 different people, all in need of help, trying to survive the scorching temperature of an Arizona summer.
So this bag has some of his favorite snacks. It's got hygiene in it. There's a blanket in here. I know it's hot. You can use it as a pillow.
The mission remains the same, justice for Joseph.
That was my son, so you can have that.
A silent witness flyer on his case to spark any possible memories, and maybe even a lead.
At this point, this is all we can do. We try to give somebody a little bit of hope. We give them a bag of what we have. We give them some waters, cold waters. We talk to some people. We pray about it, and that's all we can do.
Hope in exchange for hope. But the road to get to this point for Julie meant riding constant roller coasters of grief.
It took me 3 years to go back to work, so it's a slow process. Slowly, it's hard because there's days where it's, when you start thinking about it or you're rehashing it, or it takes you right back to that day that he was in the hospital and you were saying goodbye. And then there's days where it gets easier, but there's not a day or an hour that goes by that I don't think about him.
With Phoenix being such a large city, having so many homicide cases and so many cold cases, we really are reacting to a lot of lab results, new leads that come up.
Joseph McNally's murder is a cold case in the eyes of Phoenix PD. Detective Nunley is one of 3 detectives on the cold case unit. There are 2 civilian investigators, 2 assistants, and 1 sergeant filling out the rest of the team.
The process of a homicide becoming a cold case really depends on several different factors. Lack of physical evidence. Possibly all this evidence has been processed and there's no leads developed from that. But after several years, if a detective leaves the unit or retires from the unit and those leads have been exhausted, that case gets moved from that original detective over to the cold case unit.
Nunley says the case lacks a lot of forensic evidence, and many items have already been tested. He says a cold case detective's job is to look for any possible clue that has not been tested or could go through a different type of testing. Is there anything that you are looking into with this case or waiting on as far as results?
In this case, as I reviewed this case, I did identify a few items that I believe might be good candidates for additional or more advanced testing.
More than a dozen witnesses interviewed, a suspect's vehicle caught on camera, but the key people have not come forward. Those who watched Joseph die from inside this SUV. It's another case of the silent conscience, and on the other side, Julie pays the price.
just try to get through. You know, at first it's like every second, then it's every minute, then it's every hour, then it's every day. And there are still days where it's just like you just don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything.
She feels every moment she had with her son, from the first to the last. Can you share what you said in your goodbyes?
I just told him I was sorry that I wasn't there sooner, and that I was going to do everything in my power to find out who did this to him, and that I loved him and I was proud of him, and that he gets to go be with his grandparents now, and then I was going to see him again someday.
Every flight has a destination. For the people on those planes, some travel with a bigger purpose.
I always do a flyer on his birthday and for the candlelight.
For Tracey, there's no looking back. She's here for him.
I'm Tracey DeJohnette. I'm the mother of Thomas DeJohnette.
Flying in from Seattle, Washington to Phoenix, Arizona every year is predicated on a promise. A promise to her son, Thomas DeJohnette. A promise to get him justice.
When Thomas was born, he was the first boy in the family, and it was amazing. It was amazing. We were all happy. We were all joyful. We were screaming down the hall. I remember my mom screaming down the hall, "It's a boy, it's a boy."
Thomas was born in Seattle, Washington on August 4th, 1996 to Tracey DeJohnette and Leon Curenton. The baby boy surrounded by sisters and so much love. From a young age, he was a natural athlete.
He was fast and he had moves. He would lose you. He would do these, these moves, turn around, go this way, go that way, and shake everybody.
Thomas fell in love with football and played for Renton High School. But even after graduation, Thomas was not done with the game. Thomas played semi-pro football across the Pacific Northwest, known as a versatile running back who could energize his team with or without the ball in his hands.
He had a nose for the game. He wanted to be a part of everything, even on special teams. I would put him on the kickoff team every now and then because he'd be one of the first ones down the field and the first one to want to make a tackle.
Much like his personality off the field, relentless and full of passion.
He was swung around by his hair, and in the picture that I have, he's parallel to the ground, but still in the air. And he literally put his hand on the ground and stayed up and kept running for like another 20 some odd yards. And he came off the field and he was like, "Coach, you see that spin cycle move I put on him?" I mean, you just can't make that up. That was just his mentality.
By 2021, Thomas was only 24 years old and with plans to keep on playing.
He was focused, he was determined, he was ready. It was go. It was go.
There's something sacred about sports. The field is a sanctuary, and the connection between player and coach can be life-changing. Thomas was already paying it forward, giving back to the youth like his father Leon did.
I told him I was proud of him after the first season, because he was really making strides to be a better coach than I was.
I do believe that he was good for the youth because as good as he was as a player, he also had the ability to connect with youth players because he also himself was young. He didn't have a young mindset, but because he was still so young in age, he still had the ability to perform.
On the weekend of February 20th, 2021, Thomas did just that at the Glendale Youth Sports Complex, helping out and coaching for a youth tournament. But those weren't the only plans he had that weekend. Thomas and friends decided to hit the La Girls Gentlemen's Club near Washington Street and Loop 202 in Phoenix. Later on, inside the club, he got into a dispute with another man. This was Thomas's final night alive. At the same time, Tracey was on vacation in Hawaii with Thomas's father and their families. It was Leon who learned the devastating news while on a phone call with the Valley Hospital.
And I can still hear his sister's screams in the background in my head right now. At that point, it was like the worst thing we could ever think can happen in our lives at that point.
Then Tracey's daughter banged on her mother's hotel room door in tears.
I opened up the door. Taylor was standing there. They were all visibly shooken, and I'm looking at Taylor and I'm like, what, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm looking her up and down. Like, what? You're okay, you know? And she's like, okay. And so it was Thomas. Just Thomas. I'm like, what do you mean? What? Thomas. Thomas is gone.
Back in Phoenix, the nightclub's parking lot transformed into a crime scene on Sunday morning just after 2 a.m. Thomas was shot to death.
From what the people that were with him at the club said, that there was a gentleman that maybe he had words with, and they were going outside to fight. I believe that's what Thomas thought was happening, because he had indicated to people that he was going to go outside and fight. They walked outside, and not even 200 feet from the entrance, he was killed.
The only thing on her mind was trying to get home. She didn't care how she was going to get there. She just needed to be home. And so she called her parents and was trying to get home as soon as possible.
When was the last phone call you had with the detective?
She reached out in regards to you. Might I say that that was a quick response?
I'm Detective Willingham with the Phoenix Police Department. I've been with the department for about 17 years, and I am currently with the Homicide Unit, which I've been with for about 5 years now.
Detective Willingham has never spoke about this case publicly, until now. She says it's been on her mind for the last 4 years.
And this is one of those cases that keeps me up at night, like as a homicide detective. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years. This is actually one of my very first cases that I got. And I've been grinding on this thing for the last 5 years and just nothing.
According to Willingham, no witness saw Thomas pull out a weapon, and there's no indication he started the fight, aside from arguing with the man he walked out of the club with.
We know who he walked out with. That was the person who was contacted and detained and interviewed on scene that night. What it seems like occurred was that there was something that occurred outside of the club and happened with someone else, other than the person that he walked out of the club with.
No gun was found on the man who was detained, and no gun was recovered from the scene. The evidence, very scarce.
The casing that was found on scene as of yet has not been linked to any other crime scenes or any other casings recovered.
Somehow, some way, there's a witness out there somewhere, and it's a damn shame, in my opinion, that no one is coming forward. Truthfully.
Police say the girls did not have video surveillance of the shooting, or anything outside for that matter.
There was an extensive video surveillance canvass done in that area. Unfortunately, most of the businesses didn't either have operational video or it didn't work. There was just nothing captured, so we fell flat on that.
In the following weeks and months, Tracey was in Washington State waiting for answers, left with her thoughts and a pain only a mother can feel deep within her bones.
Violently, the manner in which he lost his life, it hurts. It hurts the way he lost his life. You know, I wonder, is he hurt? Was he hurting? What did he, you know, what it was, you know. Hi, it's me, Tracey, Thomas's mom. I'm here in Phoenix at the Lee Gentlemen's Club, 5151 Washington Street, Phoenix, Arizona. This is where my son Thomas lost his life on February 21st, 2021, approximately 2 a.m. in the parking lot of this club. There are no suspects, no leads.
Like her son, she is relentless.
Someone knows what happened to Thomas here. Someone saw him get killed. I need those persons or persons to come forward and say something.
Tracey's yearly mission continues, putting up flyers, leaving flowers where Thomas took his last breath, live streaming it all, and posting a sign in his honor.
Long live Thomas James DeJohnette. We love you.
22.
What is it like when you're standing in the spot he was in?
It's emotional. It's a lot. It's different emotions. I'm sad and I'm angry, but mostly sad. It hurts that my son came here for just a night to have fun and he ended up losing his life.
This case has now gone cold. Nearly 5 years since Thomas's murder. From 2021 through September 2025, there have been more than 800 murders in Phoenix. Some homicides are solved within days or weeks, and some take decades.
If I just had one wish, it was to go back. And I wish I could save him. I'm his mom. I couldn't save him. That is really hard to accept that he's gone and he's never coming back.
We went back to the club to see what we could find out. So I just talked to the manager of the nightclub who says he was not here the night Thomas was shot and killed. And they've overhauled their video surveillance system since then. And it's just mind-boggling that there's no footage of what happened to him that night. Within the dark industrial stretch surrounding the club, no video evidence linked to the shooting. Dozens of people were at Le Girls, but not enough have come forward with information.
And to me, I find it hard to believe that there was no one in that parking lot that saw what happened.
But the concept of how Tommy was killed bothers me still. The reality is there's still no reasoning for it. There's no conclusion to why it happened or how it happened. And the case is still wide open and there's been no headway with it. For Thomas's loved ones, grief sneaks up on them in different ways.
I'll see somebody walking or someone with braids or kind of his walk or maybe something, and I'll double take and it makes my heart sink. It happened recently. I saw somebody, I was like, looks like Thomas, it just makes my heart drop.
I still have deep depression and I have anxiety. And it's all been because it started with this. A part of me is gone. Part of me is gone, so it really hurts.
Despite the lack of investigative leads, Leon and Tracey are not giving up. They know the person who did this to their son is out there. And they hope Thomas's killer looks in the mirror.
And to just take someone's life just like that for nothing. And to just leave, just walk away, and just go on with your life, and just live your life just like nothing. You just murdered my child for nothing, nothing. You took his life